guys, it's Cassie and welcome to today's video. Today I'm here with my very long overdue 6 to 9 month favorites. So I'm just going to give a little disclaimer before I get started. First things first, some of these items have been mentioned in previous favorite videos, but I just write a list at the end of each month of items that we used a lot for the purpose of this video, so some things are duplicates. And the second one is it's summer here and it's been summer for a while, so some of these items are things that may not apply if like it's the middle of winter for you, but again, they're just items that I've used a lot. So if you're interested in knowing what my 6 to 9 month favorites, must-haves, all of that fun stuff is, then just keep on watching. Okay, so I'm gonna break this video down into 4 parts. The first part will be eat, then sleep, play, and then miscellaneous, where like they don't necessarily belong in a certain category. So first I'm going to get started with my must-haves, my favorites for eating during the 6 to 9 month period. Just an FYI, we did baby-led weaning, so we didn't introduce solids until Camden was 6 months old. I did a whole video on baby-led weaning and how to get started with baby-led weaning and baby-led weaning must-haves that I'll link down below in case you're interested. First things first that you need is a high chair. We use the Ingenuity high chair. I really like it. The top part of the tray clips off, and technically you can have 2 trays and you can throw it in the dishwasher. It's kind of awkward, but we do have a small dishwasher and it fits. This high chair in particular converts into a booster as well that you like attach to the chairs, so we'll be able to use it for a while. The one thing that I don't like is that this will not be a high chair that Camden will be able to get in by himself once he's old enough to do so. So I may consider looking for a different high chair when that time period comes, but for now I really liked this high chair and it served its purpose. For the items that are bigger / I don't have, I will insert a photo so you know what I'm talking about, kind of what it looks like. The next items are by Easy Peasy. So this is the Easy Peasy suction plate and then this Easy Peasy infant cup. So a plate is not necessary for baby-led weaning, but I did like to divide Camden's food into like sections based on what he was eating, and then it sticks to the high chair. He can't like pick it up and throw it on the ground. And then this cup is perfect because it's made out of silicone, so when they get teeth, you don't hear their teeth like scratching on the glass or ceramic. And it's 2 ounces, which when you first start introducing water is as much as you should be giving them in one sitting. So it's perfect so we don't accidentally give him more water than he needs. So this is like, it's kind of ridiculous because this cup is $14, but it is perfect for like this when you're just starting to introduce drinking with an open cup. Next, I have this Munchkin straw cup. We were using sippy cups and then I ended up switching to this because he couldn't really understand the whole like you need to lift up and tilt back with a sippy cup. So the straw kind of goes everywhere, so it can be, you can drink it from all different kinds of positions. It only took him a day to kind of figure out how straws work, and then now he's like a pro. So we always use this for on the go. At dinner time we do use an open cup so he can get used to using that, but this we use on the go, and when he's playing we just kind of give him access to a little bit of water. Next is this little Munchkin spoon. So what I love about this spoon in particular is that it has this little, what you want to call this, like block, so they can't like shove the entire spoon down their throat. Camden had a habit of liking to do that when we first started feeding, so this kind of prevents him from doing that, because sometimes he does it with this end, which kind of defeats the purpose. But this is great, silicone grippy for them learning how to use a spoon. Obviously during the 6 to 9 month period he wasn't really feeding himself yet, but we did want him to get used to the idea of like, this is what a spoon is, this is what it does. Next I have this little OXO Brabble fork and spoon set. I like this because I just kind of throw it in the diaper bag and I can forget about it, and then we always have Camden sized silverware wherever we go. He doesn't use a fork yet, but he does use a spoon, so this came in handy quite a few times. Next are dinner bibs. These dinner bibs are my favorite, so I have 2 kinds here. They're the like silicone plasticky, easy to wipe down. You can throw them in the washing machine, they wash really nicely. So this is the Chickpea brand and this is Cushies. These I like better because they're larger, but these ones I find are a little bit easy to clean between uses before throwing in the washing machine, so they're just 2 alternatives. I hate cloth bibs. I don't know why they were invented. All they do is just stain and they don't really catch food. It's just, don't use those. And then finally I really like these Munchkin fresh fruit feeders for foods that were hard for Camden to pick up, so things like avocado. If it was too mushy, we would put in here and he was able to feed himself. And I also really like putting frozen fruit in here when he is teething. It helps soothe the gums and the mouth, and again, he can just do it himself. Next we have sleep. Camden has been using a Levy since he was 4 months old and we transitioned him into a crib. but he really got attached to having like a lovey and something to suck on during the 6 to 9 month period. So this isn't the one that he uses, but this is an example of what he does. So it's like one of those little stuffed animal heads with the blanket attached. He just likes having one with him wherever he goes. He always needs one to nap. Like, I know they say that your child should sleep in an empty crib, but I did a lot of reading and some professionals do recommend that you give them a lovey to help them self-soothe. And so this is small enough that he's not going to get tangled in it. Next, I have a little finger toothbrush here. So a lot of times during the 6 to 9 month age range, your child will get their first tooth and you should start brushing their teeth right away. So all you need to do is use water. You don't need to use any toothpaste or anything. And so this one is easy because I can just put it on my finger and brush away. Camden doesn't have any issues with me brushing his teeth. So I'm hoping that because we've started doing it early enough, regularly enough, that this will continue on when he becomes a toddler. Next, I have a white noise machine. So this is an example of a white noise machine. This is our on-the-go one, but we do have one that's set in his room. And he needs to sleep with white noise. It helps drown out all the other sounds from outside and you don't have to worry about being quiet. So this one's nice because you can set it on a timer. And then it has 4 different options of sounds, either music or white noise. Another thing that we use at bedtime is soothers. I know not everyone is soother people and that's totally fine, but I do choose to allow Camden to use a passy at nighttime during naps and then when he's really, really fussy if we're out in public. The kinds that he uses is the Philip Advent kind. For like sensitive skin, they have extra holes for breathing. So we switched him over to those when he turned 6 months. We only have 2 and I normally just leave them both in the crib so he can find them himself. And then next are a couple of good bedtime books. So this is Camden's all-time favorite bedtime book. It's I Love All of Me. He loves this book because there's pictures of little kids in it and other babies and he like really likes looking at them. Also, it's not quite a board book, but it's durable enough that he can like look at it himself and I don't have to worry about it getting ruined. Other books that he really, really likes are touch and feel books. So I just have 2 of his favorites here. Around, I want to say 8 months, he started being able to turn pages on his own and he would like touch all the different surfaces. These ones are nice, but they're a little bit more expensive, whereas these ones are super cheap. Like they're like $5 a book. So we do read books at bedtime every night. We normally almost always read this one because he does really like it. And I always leave out books that I don't mind getting damaged or that are pretty durable like this one because he likes to flip through books while he's playing and so I do want him to have access to books to be able to like read on his own. Next section is play. Around the 6 to 9 month age range, your baby will actually start to play and interact with different toys, and these are ones that I found Camden was reaching for continuously and I thought I would share. First things first, I definitely recommend getting a play mat. The one that I have is from Costco. It was $60 and it's great. It has the alphabet on it and the other side is like a little town with roads that once he starts playing with cars, it's like a 2-for-1 little play mat. I really like this one because it's super squishy and when Camden was learning to sit but sometimes was falling over, I found that this kind of broke his fall a little bit and I didn't have to worry about him hitting his head off the hardwood floor. He just now has a place to kind of play. When he was learning to crawl, it was grippy enough that he could kind of get himself up on his hands and knees. Playmats I found can be really expensive and the Costco one is a cheaper alternative. Next, I recommend shakers or balls that rattle. So Camden really loved getting his hands on these guys and shaking them around. He could play with these forever. Once he started crawling, and I think he started crawling around the 7-month point, he would chase them around the apartment, so it was a lot of fun. Similarly, around this point is when Camden played with a lot of different rattles and things like that. So here are just a couple of examples of different ones that he liked because he could finally hold them, shake them up and down, and kind of respond to them. Next, I have this stacking ring toy. He really enjoyed pulling these off and kind of playing with the rings themselves during this age range. He, of course, couldn't stack them yet, but he still really loved this toy and taking it apart, and then I'd put it back together and he'd take it apart over and over again. Similarly, he really liked this stacking toy. Again, he can't stack them, but he likes banging them together and making noise with them. These were one of his favorite toys, and I have no idea why he really liked to bang them around. Eventually, he will be able to stack them. I don't know, this is like a super random toy, but he loved it. Next, I have a xylophone. Connor and I both learned different songs that we could play on the xylophone to kind of interact with him. You have to be careful because he did really like to put this in his mouth, and we obviously didn't want him to be moving around with this in his mouth and hurting himself, so it's a supervised toy for sure. But towards the end of the 6 to 9 month range, he was banging on it and making noise with it. He, similarly, the kick and play piano, we got rid of the mat part and we kept the piano part. He really likes banging on the piano and making music with that one as well. So I mentioned this in my last video, the Crinkle books, and a mom was like, oh my gosh, I hate those toys, they're so loud. Totally true, but Camden loves these. I will often catch him just flipping through these. And again, they're books that you don't have to worry about getting ruined, but he is allowed to read during playtime. So I always give him access to these. I always bring one of these everywhere that we go because we have tons of these. I find that these ones aren't super annoying. We have a Winnie the Pooh one that is super loud, and that one can kind of drive me crazy, but these ones aren't so bad. Next, we have this little car toy, and the reason why he really liked this was because he discovered that the wheels could spin, and so he will like hold this and just for like 10 minutes. So any type of toy that has wheels that they can spin like that, definitely recommend. Next, we have some bubbles. Babies love bubbles, and these are like a super cheap way to entertain them. We do build them in our house because we don't really care about the soap getting everywhere. But if not, you can bring them outside. These are from the dollar store, so it costs $1.50. And this will last forever. Around this point is when he started reaching for the bubbles and trying to pop the bubbles and not just looking at them. So the next few items are bigger items. An item that he really enjoyed at this age range was the Stroll and Discover activity walker. He didn't take assisted steps during the 6 to 9 month range, I don't believe, but he would get up on his knees and play with the front of it. I'll insert a picture of what it looks like. This was probably one of the best toys that I purchased for him, and I would recommend that if you're looking for 1 or 2 items to purchase for your baby, this is definitely one of them. I think I paid $40 for it, and he gets lots and lots of use out of it, and he will continue to use it. He still walks around the apartment with it. Next is a jumper or an exerciser. So we have 2. Instead of a jolly jumper, because we're in an apartment and we didn't have as much space, we just use like an activity jumper. He loved jumping up and down in it and playing with the toys, and same with the exerciser. And so they were good ways to have him contained for 10-15 minutes at a time while we were trying to cook or clean or do whatever. Because we live in an apartment, it's not very big, so we don't have like an enclosed space where we can leave him and know that he's safe. We don't like to bring out the playpen and kind of force him just to stay in it. That's just personal preference. This was a way that we could get an activity done and know that he was safe, and we didn't have to kind of keep our eyes on him the entire time. And last but not least is a ball pit. He loved his ball pit during this age period. He still kind of plays with it, but I find that he more enjoys getting in and out of it than actually sitting and playing with the balls. But he loved to just play with the plastic balls, bang them together, chase them around, play with the different toys. And so we had one of those baby mats that converted into a ball pit. So I recommend that as an affordable option. I would, when we move, like to get him a bigger one, but the one that we have was perfect for the 6 to 9 month range. And last but not least, we have a few miscellaneous items. So one thing that he loved during this time period was the Step 2 wagon. We got it for him for Easter, and it says on there that it's for ages 1.5 years and up. But we started putting him in it when he was 7 months old and he could sit strongly. We didn't worry about him falling over anything. We did put a blanket around him while he was in the seatbelt because there was just a lot of space, but he really liked it for walks because he can look around, have a good 360 view of things, and it's not as contained as the stroller. Another item is hats. So because it's summer here, he's worn a ton of hats during this time period. So bucket hats are great because they have the little string and they're harder for them to pull off, although I find that he pulls them over his eyes quite often. Camden has a larger than average head, so this is a toddler size hat because the infant ones were too small, but the toddler ones are like a little bit too large. But I just got this off of Amazon. If you're looking for like caps, baseball caps for your kids, I really love the H&M ones. I just don't have any on me right now. Another thing I don't have on me are sunglasses. Ours are from Amazon. I have no idea what brand. I'm gonna try and find them. They were gifted to us, but they're like little aviators with the strap. And he doesn't like wearing them if he's inside, but if it's really sunny and we're out for a walk or whatever, he will wear them and just kind of leaves them on. The next item is a baby pool. So we purchased I think it's Summer Waves pool from Canadian Tire. Again, we live in an apartment and we do have a pool, but because of Corona, it was closed up until July. So we used the infant pool out on our balcony, just put like a little bit of water in there and he could play and cool down. We had a lot of fun with that. He loves swimming. During this time period, we switched him to a new car seat. So we went from the bucket seat seat to a convertible seat. So we got the Graco Forever car seat. I have a small car, I drive a Chevy Aveo, so it was really important to me to find something that would fit in there, and this one fits in super nicely. We bought it from Toys R Us and they let us try it out in our car even during COVID. They wiped it down before and after, so we were able to test it out because that was what was really important to me, was that I purchased one that fit. It's nice and roomy. It will eventually turn around to a forward-facing seat and then a booster seat, so it was higher up in the price range, but we shouldn't have to purchase another seat for him ever, or for a while. So the back is adjustable, so it's a great seat and I definitely recommend. I did like having the bucket seat for the first 8 months, I believe, but then he got too heavy for me and I couldn't carry him anymore. We do use the bucket seat in our other vehicle right now because the Graco car seat was so expensive. We didn't want to purchase two at the same time. So we're using that one in Dad's car because he's not quite at the max for height and weight, so might as well, right? Next, I recommend a universal stroller caddy. I use the Maxi-Cosi Laura stroller. That was the one that we were gifted at our baby shower, and now that I've used it for a little while, there are definitely some features on it that are missing that I wish I had, but this is the one that we have, so this is what we use. So it does have 2 baskets for storage, which is nice, but I wanted something that was more accessible for me to hold extra stuff such as drinks. It's got 2 spots for drinks. I can put my phone and my keys in there and my debit card or credit card if we're going out, and also snacks. Snacks is the big thing. I don't have to stop. I can just kind of pop open the top. The one thing that I will say is that there isn't a lot of large storage, so if you're looking for a stroller caddy that can hold larger items, this is not the one for you, but this is the one that I use and I like. Along with the stroller items, a stroller toy. So once Camden was able to start crawling around 7 months, he was no longer interested in being in the stroller for long periods of time. He got bored, he wanted to explore. So I purchased this stroller toy from Canadian Tire, and it just kind of flips onto the sides and there's different things that he can play with. The one that I purchased isn't my favorite. I find that it just kind of flips in all different positions. It's hard to keep it staying upwards, but Camden likes it. It entertains him. We have less issues when we go for walks. If you know of an alternative to this one that is better, let me know. Next, we have teethers. So these are some of the teethers that Camden used during this period. These ones are his favorite. They creep me out, but this is what he really likes. I would just throw them in the freezer, and then when I noticed he was miserable because of his teeth, I would give him one of these. He would chomp on them for a little bit, and I would make his life a little bit better. Along with teething related items, these bandana bibs from Alva Baby are super cute, super affordable in comparison to the copper and pearl ones. And your kid will drool a lot when their teeth are coming in. Camden drools a lot all the time, and so this protects his outfits, and I find that I have to change his clothes less during the day. I just change the bib, and there we go. We have like probably 30 of these. I love these so much. These Dapple Baby all-purpose wipes. This just has wax on it from our Scentsy, but I like these because they are made with baby-friendly ingredients. They're non-toxic, and I use them to wipe down his toys. And last but not least, sunscreen. I really like the Think Baby sunscreen because it is mineral based and good for baby's skin. All right, so that is everything I think for my 6 to 9 month baby favorites. Let me know if any of these are your favorite as well, or if you have something that was your favorite during the 6 to 9 month period that I didn't mention. Don't forget to follow us over on Instagram at Cassie's Corner. Check us out on TikTok at _CassieK, and check out my blog, which is linked down below. All of the items that I mentioned or a similar option will be linked in my 6 to 9 month favorite blog post, which will be linked down below. So if you want to purchase any of these items, they'll be right there, easy for you to find. And don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, bye guys.